Well, happy Thursday morning to you on this August the 5th, 1993, as we look down on beautiful Waikiki Beach, and we're preparing to start another fun-filled day here in Hawaii. We are now in the National Cemetery of the Pacific, here in the Punch Bowl in Honolulu. There goes this battery. I just left the National Cemetery and now on Tantalus Drive. And as you can see, we have a spectacular view of Honolulu here from Tantalus Drive, just outside of the National Cemetery of the Pacific. Fabulous view of Diamond Head from here, where you can really get the crater effect of Diamond Head. Some beautiful homes along this street also, and I imagine they go for more than a couple of kinds. Group of Japanese folks just left. I don't know whether you heard them back there or not. We're at Pauaki State Park or something like that. There's the Japanese folks up there. That was the National Cemetery right down in there that we were before. We zoom out this way. You can see the airport. Honolulu International. Cemetery of the Pacific. A little ways away from Honolulu now, we're at the Dole Plantation. Fresh pineapple, anyone? Here at the Dole the Dole Plantation, not the cannery. There's large pineapple fields out there. Well, we're now on the North Shore of Oahu. Just left the Dole Cannery about 15 minutes back. Very tranquil waters on this side of the island.
November of 1990, we had another major flood. It closed our gates for the first time in our 17 years of public service. But after 5 months of working together, rebuilding and replanting, we're happy to open our doors and hearts once again. Here on the left-hand side is our collection of native Hawaiian flora. And more than half of all Hawaii's native flora is either endangered or threatened with extinction. So we do focus on collecting endangered species here in the valley for researchers and plant lovers.
A little before noon.
In Hawaii Peninsula, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to our waterfall area. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our featured performer to you individually. The gentleman on the rock to my right is in his 8th year of professional diving, having completed diving tours of Germany and Belgium. Originally from Florida, please welcome Anthony Clinton. And to my left, he's a 10-year professional. You might have seen him in TV commercials and diving shows all over the world. From right here on the North Shore of Oahu, please welcome our Rivers. And my name is Stephanie am a third-year professional. I will be the host of this show. Now we are about to take you on a journey through more than 200 years of Hawaiian cliff diving tradition. As they began in the 1700s with the Hawaiian royalty, the elite, and as they have been continued throughout the centuries by the... This area is known as Ahupua'a o Waimea, the district of Waimea. And Ahupua'a is the land division that runs from the mountains to the sea and contains everything necessary to sustain life. The word Waimea comes from two words, Wai for water and Mea for red. Thus the term means red, fresh water. Whenever the waterfall expands in size, a lot of iron oxide mineral is picked up from the red soil and surrounding red rock. And as a result, both the pool and the waterfall itself can turn dark red. These expansions are exclusively the result of rain throughout the valley system and can be quite dramatic. In 1894, a massive flood drove the inhabitants out of this valley forever. And in 1990, a flood of similar proportions closed this park for 5 months. Yet today, Waimea is, as it always was, a vibrant, very special, and very sacred place. The history of this valley dates back more than 900 years, and control of it was handed down through successive generations of Kahuna high priest. Like this area, these waters were also considered sacred, and great care was exercised in revering, preserving, and protecting the source of life. Ikuai kane me kanaloa, iwai ino, waimana, waiola, olano. Water given by kane and kanaloa. Water to drink, water for power, water for life. May there be life. Mano wai, water is the source of life, and both are to be revered and held sacred. Thus, these cleansing waters did more than bathe the bodies of the early Hawaiians. It was a refreshing of their spiritual selves as well. That is still true today, and will always be so. And Ahupua'a o Waimea. The life force of this Ahupua'a is this Wailele, this waterfall. And it was given the name Waihe'e. Literally translated, Waihe'e means squid liquid, and all that that entails. And we invite you to witness now as our divers celebrate the life of this Ahupua'a. E aloha ihi wahi la'a, love and respect this beautiful place. King Kahikili was the ruler of the islands of Molokai, Lanai, Maui, and this island of Oahu. He achieved a great reputation for bravery by climbing on and jumping from these and other cliffs. Actions of UC art and antiques simulating in the waterfall. This tradition was continued by King Kamehameha the Great, the man who eventually unified the Hawaiian Islands. It is certain that the top boys would emulate the actions of the elite, challenging one another to swimming games and diving like a boulder down a hill. Well, that daring spirit still lives here today, and this is the only place in the world you can consistently view acrobatic-style cliff diving. Now, what would a tumbling boulder or twisting leaf going into these waters look like? Let's turn to our other 35-foot perch for our river's interpretation of Lu'ukimo Mehe Pohato Hiolo. Up over 2.5 in the touch position, our river. Nice dive. Keeping with these and other Hawaiian traditions, this valley has hosted competitions of a world-class caliber. These included the first ever Women's World Cliff Diving Championship and the only men and women's mixed double cliff diving championship. You might have seen those on ESPN and Wide World of Sports. Drawing from those competitions, our divers will now challenge each other in a unique feat that demonstrates both reconciliation of style and harmony of effort. This is called the tandem dive. Both divers will be aiming their rock perches at the same time. submerged rock ledges, hit the water at over 50 miles an hour, and emerge from the water safely. Because of those many dangers, it has become a custom here to let the divers know that we're right down here behind them, wishing them well. Now they're over 100 feet away from all of us, and they have some noise of the waterfall to contend with. So let's be real loud. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands and your voices together and show your support for Keep Smiling. That is excellent. I know they do appreciate that show of support. It looks like Anthony will be taking the first highlight. Anthony, whenever you're ready, take your time, be careful, have a good dive. Ladies and gentlemen, your first highlight. Going back towards the cliff face, the reverse, 3 positions.
Well, as you can see, it gets dark here a little earlier. Sun sets so shortly after 7:30. This did get dark. Just got back from seeing the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer. It was fair. Coneheads last evening was much better. But for this Thursday, August the 5th, we're going to wrap up coverage and see you tomorrow. Good evening.